have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe enough. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Monster Island.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to YHS on Monster Island. I am one of your co-hosts, Jacob Walsh. With me, as always, Jay Key. Jay, what's up, dude?
Not a lot. Actually, you know what? A lot.
That's a lot. You have a lot going on.
We both have a lot going on.
We do. But you have a lot of kaiju stuff going on.
I do have a lot of kaiju stuff going on. And no, it's good. It's good. I'm really excited to chat today. It's like I feel like because you've been doing so much stuff all across the country, and I've been busy with some things. Like I feel like the only time that we've really got to sit down and chat recently has been the show. So
yeah,
yay, the show.
Yeah. I mean, but that's fine. Listen, we're both really busy. We have so many shows happening, and then like when we don't have shows, I'm watching other people's shows. Attack Peter has a show on Wednesdays, and whenever we're off from recording on Wednesday, I'm watching Attack Peter's live show. Like everybody has a show now. I'm watching Geek Dad. I'm watching Ryan's Gotham City Tonight. And it's like trying to do kaiju stuff in between. We have conventions happening. You have a big show coming up. Dragon Con's coming up. I got a work convention coming up the same weekend as Kaiju Go. And then there's like a bunch of stuff that none of us can talk about yet, which is cool. Yeah. But we're not here for any of that. But I think you want to talk about Kaiju Go because you want to talk about that appearance? Yeah,
well, thank you. First of all, and actually the craziest thing, you talk about all the other stuff that we watch. Right now, we're recording on a Wednesday night. This Wednesday, we would be watching, I have it recorded, the great Craig Goldberg, the co-founder of YHS, on national TV on the Judge Steve Harvey show on ABC. So make sure you guys watch that. And I mean, please. Like, it's going to be amazing.
It's something. Yeah, it's something. It's very funny. It's very cool, and you just have to see it.
See it to believe it. But yes, I'll spend a few seconds on Kaiju Go. I know it doesn't affect everybody because it's Dallas.
They need to hear it.
Yeah, they need to hear it. But it is Dallas Fort Worth. And hey, there's no rule against you guys flying in or driving in to come check it out. It's worth it. But if you can't, I totally understand. But the cool thing is, we are about 10 days at the time of recording this, 10 days away from the first Kaiju Go. We got the great Bob Eggleton will be coming in as a special guest. John Yerkeba, friend of YHS, and of course does the covers for IDW's Godzilla, Monsters and Protectors, All Hail the King. He'll be there. We have some of the best vinyl toy, designer toy, art toy, Kaiju toy vendors and toy makers in the area that are going to be there. Toku Toy Town will be there. The great Gary Harmon and Toy Matrix will be there. Chance Priest, who is just one of the most, his Warriors of the Universe line is one of the most sought after in kind of the folk art, designer toy, art toy genre. We got Michael Morse, who's famous for his Big Boji and his Yakultra Man. He's going to be there. David DeGrand, just a whole host of really, really cool vendors. We also, and we haven't even announced this on the site, so you don't know this unless you're at the show or you're listening to this podcast. Heritage Auctions. Yes, the big auction house that does like $1 million, pieces of jewelry and artifacts and art. They're going to be there with some vintage movie posters to sell. How cool is that?
Whoa.
They're going to be in the lobby.
Can I be like on the phone with somebody and I'm like, go, and oh my God, I've always wanted to do that, but I don't have the money for it.
I'll be your proxy buyer. I'll be like, I'll just raise my hand.
Yep.
So we have that. And then of course, I think the main event is probably the double feature of Mothra versus Godzilla and Godzilla versus Megalon. So we are super pumped. And I actually will be let's see, 3 days before the event, I'll be on Good Morning Texas here, the local ABC affiliate in Dallas Fort Worth, talking about Kaiju Go with my good buddy Chaz Foreman. We're going to be talking vinyl toys with that great group of hosts, and we're really excited that they gave us the opportunity to chat with the Metroplex through Good Morning Texas. So I'm really pumped, and the ticket sales are just like, I'm not saying we're sold out, but we're getting a lot closer than I ever thought in the first show. So get your tickets now. The early bird pricing is over, but it's only $5 extra, and it's going to be a really, really fun time. So come check it out if you can.
Bummed I'm missing it, but I think because I'm missing it, everybody else needs to make sure that they don't miss it. I want to see, pictures, videos, stories. I want to see everything. I'm excited for you, Jay.
Thanks, man.
There's one more thing, Jay, I just want to mention before we get going into our topics. Also, I had an article published.
Yes.
I just want to talk about that for a second and maybe get some people to go check it out. I have never written an article in my life, and I had been having some conversations. I was reading some books. I had stirred something up with me, and I ended up writing this article basically about the complicated relationship between being like an animal lover and watching and reading media about killer animals, where the animals are getting killed or they're seen as monsters and stuff like that. And I wrote this really large article, and Jay, you kind of helped me out with it. I appreciate all your help there. But a good friend of mine, John Campopiano, who's a filmmaker, helped me get it published. So if you go over to ihorror.com, it's like an online horror magazine. You can search for it and find it. It's on there. It's I'm guessing you can either search for my name, Jacob Walsh, it will pop up, or the title's kind of long. It's Killing the Shark versus Eating the Protagonist. You type that in, you might find it. But check it out. Let me know if I'm awful at writing. Look how cool this looks. I didn't pick the photos. They did the photos, but I like that they threw photos in at some of my talking points. But check it out if you get a chance. Not, it's kaiju adjacent. It's about killer animals, sharks, alligators, orcas. Yeah. No Godzillas or Gorgos in there, but I think it's very well written. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. I loved it. And it's definitely something that like I don't know much about that subgenre, that adjacent genre to kaiju stuff, and it was fascinating reading it. I mean, I know your stance on animal conservation and animal rights and all that stuff, and it was cool to kind of to see that juxtaposed against like these horror movies where there are these giant animals killing everybody, right? So it was really cool. It like I said, had you not written that, I would have never thought about that kind of quandary between those two things.
Well, it is,
cool.
I appreciate that, Jay. And it's not like anybody who's listening, it's not the kind of thing where it's just like a vegan telling you how bad it is to make movies like that. I really love movies like that. I really love, like, one of my favorite, genres of media is animal revenge movies, or movies like Alligator or Dark Age or Jaws. Like it's my favorite thing. So it's just like the article is more trying to kind of present when it's okay to kill the animal and when I think the animal should be the victor in the story. Because there's a couple things that I think make clear differences. So check it out if you get a chance.
Yeah, one of the cool things I thought about it, Jake, was I thought it was neat. Like, some folks just fell back to the old, if you're human, even if you're a terrible human, you're the protagonist, you're the good guy, and you always will prevail. And really kind of thinking about and giving specific examples and stories and books I've never heard of.
Right.
And saying like, no, this they were the evil ones in here. Yeah. And it was really cool. It was a really neat, eye-opening, and I'm glad iHorror picked it up. That was probably a really good article for them. So really cool stuff.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Jay. And thank you to iHorror. They're not listening, but thank you to those guys. Go check them out. Give them a follow. They're on all the social media. They do good stuff. So check it out. Maybe it's weird. I had a friend of mine was like, hey, are you going to like start writing now? And I'm like, No, probably not. But that was just something I felt like I needed to put out. And it was originally just going to be like a podcast episode. I wrote it and I was like, I'm just going to record this and let it be a podcast episode. And then my friend was like, no, we're getting this published. So, yeah, it's out there. Check it out, Jay. I appreciate that. Thanks for the help, dude.
What do you mean? You don't want to have 2 or 3 hour or enjoy our 2 or 3 hour conversations on third party restricted POV and show versus tell and all that good stuff that we chatted about.
Dude, I loved it, but listen, it stressed me out. Like, listen, we'll be transparent. I am writing something else, and you've read it for me, and you've gone through it, but it is it's fictional. It is not, it is not a think piece. It is a story, and it kind of goes along with the thing. I have not written a story since high school, and here I am thinking I'm done with it, and I have Jay read it, and he's like, "You got a lot of work to do, buddy." No. So I'm going back through it and trying to change some things, and I'm gonna write that, and then I'm not betting on something like that getting published because that's a whole other thing than getting an article published, but. It will probably be a podcast episode. It'll be a Patreon episode, maybe. It'll probably be a YHS Patreon episode. I'll read it and put some sound effects to it.
It'll be a great audio drama already.
Yeah, some swamp sounds.
Yeah.
And
just the snippet that I got to read, which I know, obviously you'll work on some areas that you might expand even further because there's so many cool ideas that kind of spin off of it.
You say snippet, I sent you the whole thing. You read
No, I mean like when we talked about like the bigger picture, like how this could be like you could do it other ways. Like this is one episode, if you will.
One story, and that's such a good idea. If I just make a whole podcast out of stories about animal revenge stories or something.
I love.
Jay,
I think it could.
I don't have time.
It could be the tip of the empire, or tip of the iceberg. It could be your new media empire. Yes, but it was really good, and I'm excited for that to see, get that out to the masses. It'll be really cool.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jay.
You know what? But speaking of checking things out, after you're done at iHorror reading Jacob's article, how about you go over to belowthecollar.com/YHS podcast, because we got our YHS and Monster Island shirts there, the original. Finally. And we have some new ones. I know we have our #8989s and our No One Likes Manda shirts. So go check them out at belowthecollar.com/YHS podcast.
I'm gonna have to order myself one of those No One Likes Manda shirts.
Well, it's funny when we designed it. Like I designed it for a different platform, and there's other colors other than black. And I know Craig, almost everything is a black T-shirt, so I don't know if it translates as well. But it's still a shirt that has Manda.
Right. Check it out. Get over there, buy some stuff. We have kind of a light show tonight. There's not a lot of news. I don't think either one of us bought too much stuff. I know one of the things we're showing off, we both got. You got what we watched on here. You watched nothing.
Nothing.
All right. Well, guess what I watched?
What'd you watch?
Nothing.
No.
I watched a little. So I did rewatch a little bit of Ultra Q. I was trying to show Jess some episodes. We watched the Kenegong episode because she is like become obsessed with that character and had never seen it. So I'm like, let's fucking watch it. So we watched that. We were like getting on YouTube, watching clips of like stuff with Busca and Pigmon and Garamon and just like random shit. But like, I still have not been able to watch Kamen Rider. I know I said in the last episode, I'm watching this weekend. Yeah. And then I had a pretty busy weekend and I just kind of forgot about it. And honestly, every night of the week, YHS has been busy. I just have not had a day off. And I'm not sure I'm gonna for the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna try to get Shin Kamen. I'll try to get it, but by the time I don't think our schedule is going to change for this next week because I do have 2 conventions coming up back to back, but I will be home for a Tuesday. And I think the one day that I'm home is the next day on our schedule. So I think we're going to be good.
Okay.
I will try to knock it out before then, but I haven't been able to. So we're going to skip What Did You Watch? And we're going to jump into
my thumbnail. I had already had the Jake finally watches Shin Kamen Rider thumbnail already drawn up.
Well, hey, just put that in there anyway and let the people watch the show thinking that's what we're talking about. That's how you get views, Jay.
And then the very end of the video, you'll be like, and my thoughts on Shin Kamen Rider are, and then it just goes black. It'll be amazing.
So you're gonna cut the "What have we watched" segment and make it the last segment, so people sit through the whole thing.
The whole thing. Yep, for sure. Awesome, yeah. But hey, you know what? We might not have watched a lot, but I think we did. Like I said, you mentioned we did buy a few things.
Got a couple things. Yeah, I got a very modest 2 things, but one of the things you also have. So nothing crazy. But Jay, I'm looking at the list you sent me.
Uh-huh.
And you have something on there that I'm almost annoyed about. So I just want you to.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and start showing some stuff?
Okay. So the first thing I got, I've had before and I sold it and I got it back because the box art is done by the great Bob Eggleton and I want him to sign it at Kaiju Go. And I love this piece. And so I ended up rebuying for, I don't know, like a third time, M1 tricycle. Craig. I know, right? I totally, this is one, I'm definitely in that. This is my Star Wars Black Series. The Motongo Halloween variant M1 tricycle. There he is. Look at him right there.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. And then, of course, I was like, I got the box art for Bob Eggleton to sign. And guess what I don't have with me right now? The box art. But it's amazing. It's beautiful. And I love his interpretation of Motongo. And Motongo in Halloween form on a tricycle, even better. But yeah, so that was the first pickup. I'm super excited to get that signed. So the next 2, I'll do one because we'll kind of do the other one together because we both got it. But I only have one other pickup outside of that one. And this is, we in the winter, the Wonderfest Winter Edition back in Jan-Feb, Neo Player One came out with a bang with a couple of those like Godzilla 64s, or one Godzilla 64, the blue one, and then a Hedorah. I still haven't been able to get the blue one. I mean, the last one I saw that went in an auction went for over $1,200. And it's just insane. Ooh. And the funny thing is that's not even the most expensive Neo Player One because they have the 95 lottery when they did it at Wonderfest Summer. And that one's like $1,800 to get it. But not cheap, but not that expensive. Neo Player One, they did do another colorway of the 64 because that 64 is so fun and so whimsical. And I love the blue, but this other colorway wasn't bad. Like I like it a ton. It's kind of 1B if the blue's 1A. And so I did pick up the pink 64 Neo Player One with a little Mothra larva on his tail here, there.
Just give me that.
It's so good. It's excellent in person. I absolutely adore this piece. Like I said, I love the pink colorway. Don't get me wrong, but it's the sculpt is really what makes it. It's that right balance of silly and cartoon. It's like if Lit Goji grew up and became Safubi, right? It would be somewhere around this, right?
That looks like Godzilla.
Yeah, I know, right? It could be totally. And then like the little Mothra larva hooked on its tail. Neo Player One does some really cool stuff. Their Baltons are awesome, and you can get those for a really affordable price.
At Toku Toy Town.
No, yeah, I have some, but even there's places I even having better prices than me. So it's I won't tell you their names on here though, but there's some places that you can get those for, like I said, relatively good prices. Like obviously it's still expensive.
Yeah.
But those 95s, those lottery ones, I mean, it just stinks. Like those could be figures of a decade, and nobody's ever gonna have one here.
That's what makes me annoyed. These guys are trying on one hand, these guys are trying really hard to win Toy Line of the Year, on the Jeffries. But the fact that those Destroya figures, they're so hard to come by.
Yeah.
And man, what I didn't realize about them, I saw some videos over the week. Christine got that. She was like gifted one, and the videos of her with it. I didn't realize how big those figures are. They're
huge.
Big.
Yeah,
they are very big. That is one of the best looking figures I've ever seen. Those are beautiful, and I'm never gonna have one.
Yeah, same.
And that's a bummer because they are gorgeous. That is one of the few real problems in my life right now that I'm not ever gonna have one of those toys.
It's
They're
bad,
great.
man.
That's
It's
a beautiful
bad.
toy. Everything they do, their sculpting is top notch. It's good stuff.
And some of their other non-Godzilla and Ultraman stuff that I've seen that I'm not familiar with the properties or their custom or original work are just as good. Like they're really awesome. Like they do good stuff. But yeah, I mean the Balkan's like 13 inches tall. I think that one's over a foot tall. The 95, and then this guy, he's about 8 inches, 7-8 inches tall. Like they're really cool. And I think the 64 of this is still, I think, one of the coolest pieces that I've seen on top of obviously the 94s, or excuse me, the 95s. I was looking at SpaceGodzilla over here and I was like 94. But yeah, so that's it. Other than the one that we both share.
Cool. Yeah. Well, we'll go for it. We both got in, the trendy. I don't think we're allowed to say Trendmasters. The trendy version of Mondo's SpaceGodzilla. Sculpted by Hector over there. Man, this is one of the best things I've bought in a long time. I mean, I knew ahead of time that I really wanted the Trendmasters version of this thing, and I don't know what to say. Like, this is beautiful. I took some pictures of this alongside the original Trendmaster SpaceGodzilla.
Really good photos,
and
by the way.
Colors are fucking spot on. This is beautiful, man. Like I said it before, SpaceGodzilla doesn't have a lot of Safubi out there. It seems like that might be changing. Yeah, it seems like that's changing, but
more to come later on that.
There's never been a ton of it, and just this is beautiful. This is like a chunky little. This is a perfect toy. This is beautiful. I love this shit. What do you think of this? This is the only one you have
of the SpaceGodzilla. Yes, yeah. I'm doing the one color variant per Mondo release, and this is the one I was gonna do for SpaceGodzilla no matter what, because I love the original Trendmasters colorway. I know it's based off the poster, the Noriyoshi poster, and this takes it to a different level. And I've been critical early on of Mondo about the Godzilla 84 and how it was like it didn't capture the kind of, I think, the vibe of Safubi, right? I don't think it was like it just didn't have the header was like trying to be whimsical, but like I didn't care for that sculpt very much. But the 84, like it just, to me, it was like and the scaling was weird. Then the Biollante came out and it's big and it's beautiful, but still, like, it didn't give me like Safubi vibes. I think the Rodan that is coming out might be my favorite sculpt that I've seen of any of them. I think the most Safubi-ized, but this one might be my favorite piece. When you factor in sculpt, when you factor in size and paint job, and then what it represents and what it's, like how it harkens back to the toy and the poster and everything. Like, this is, I'm not going to say it because we don't make the decisions now, but this has to be on the short list for Kaiju Toy of the Year. And this toy alone, I think, can propel Mondo back into the running for Kaiju Toy Line of the Year. And I don't have a say in it, but I think this guy could sit up there with all the toys that you guys are discussing just for Toy of the Year with the rest of the Jeffries and hold its own. I think it's that good.
Absolutely.
Kudos to Hector. Kudos to Mondo. I absolutely love this piece. And I'm saying this in the same week that I got what I think is one of the best sculpts I've ever seen on any Safubi item in Godzilla in this Neo Player 1. So small but mighty here, like only 2 pickups, but these 2 are amazing. I just love this. Home run, A+, 10 out of 10. Yes.
Yeah. Mondo's really killing it, man. And I do agree. Some of the early, like the guy, I didn't get any of the Godzilla 84s. Like, I liked it, but I was like, I just not enough when there's a ton of shit out and I'm going to spend money. So, but I feel like every release is better and better. And then it's like everybody else that they have sculpting as well is like everything's insane. The Attack Peter stuff, the Groman, the Godzilla that's coming out. It's just all
the Urban Aztec. Yeah.
It's all mind blowing to me. So, but yeah, SpaceGodzilla, that's where it's at, man. I love it.
I have one question on the Mondo line for you. And this is one that I think I was talking to our good buddy Michael Lynch, and he's a designer toy connoisseur and knows lots of it. And he brought up one thing on Mondo, and I agree with him. And because I think this has been one of the reasons why I like almost like viewing the Mondo stuff in a vacuum, like this one toy as opposed to their entire line, is the scaling is so wacky. Like it's I mean, like this, SpaceGodzilla is this big, Jet Jaguar is like this big, Biollante is this big, which I know she's that big anyway. The Godzilla is small, and it's like I feel like they're connected because they are soft vinyl. They're connected because they're all Godzilla properties. I don't feel like whereas like if you look at like Marusan's 350 line or whatever, they're all kind of roughly in scale. I don't care about that, but I'm saying like when you look at the cohesiveness of a line, the cohesion of a line, I think that does hurt them a little bit. I'm glad if they went over the top large on one of them, it was with SpaceGodzilla because it's the best one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never thought of that because like they are very different scale.
I haven't either, but I've also I feel like with Safubi, it's easier to not not care about because it's already crazy looking anyway. And the sculpts and colors are so weird that it's like, who cares if it's not in scale? Yeah. Look at it. It's like, it's cherry blossom color. So I've never cared about the scale, but I do, I don't have the Godzilla, so I don't really know how the Godzilla scales up. The Biollante is huge. So yeah, I don't know. That just doesn't bother me. The scale thing doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I'm not getting them all anyway. You know what I mean? I'm picking and choosing. So yeah, I don't know. Never thought about that. Yeah.
Anyway, but everybody go out, get this toy, do whatever you got to do to get it. I just, like I said, if we aren't talking about him on the Jeffries, I will be shocked.
It's happening. He's going on the Jeffries.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard when the Jeffries come up.
Me too.
It's going to be hard when the Jeffries come up trying to figure out, like, if we do, Toy of the Year and we want and a Mondo pieces on there, picking one, like, that's hard.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is amazing, but, like, is Attack Peter's Mechagodzilla coming out this year? I kind of hope it's not being released this year because I don't know if I could pick between his Mechagodzilla and this. That might have to let that Mechagodzilla release next year, so that could be a next year's Jeffries thing. I don't know, man. There's just too much. Yeah, for sure. That's it for you. You got nothing else?
That's it for me. That's it for me.
I got one other thing, and I got this a couple weeks ago and completely forgot about it. Forgot to show it off. A client and a friend of mine who he came down, drove down to get a tattoo for me, brought me a gift, and I was shocked when I saw this. Jay brought me
a coat hanger,
vintage Godzilla versus Charles Barkley T-shirt. I have looked for these in the past. They're usually either hard to get or expensive. Yeah, so. And he's a vintage clothing guy. Like he buys and sells. Like that's his thing. He also, speaking of vintage, he also brought me this the first time I tattooed him, the Taco Bell Godzilla vintage shirt that I'm wearing currently. I also wanted to wear this because I thought these two things fit in with our topic tonight.
Yes.
As a teaser, two weird Godzilla things. That
and you know what? So. It's kind of funny. It's like you say that, but then like I'm looking like. I think this is weird and wacky. I mean, it's a Matango done as a Halloween on a tricycle. But I think that's what's fun about the topic tonight when we get to it is like there are so many things that we just get comfortable and used to in our wacky subgenre of Safubi and Kaiju collecting that like weird. Everything's a little weird, wacky.
I mean, that Matango on the tricycle, like it's very weird. And if you mention that to anybody, everybody knows who Godzilla is. And if you show them a Godzilla toy, they're like, oh, cool, that's a Godzilla toy. If you show a random normal person that Matango on a tricycle with and try to explain, oh, it's a Halloween version of Matango, which is a mushroom man, but we're giving him a jack-o'-lantern face and he's riding a tricycle. Someone's going to laugh at you. You're going to get picked on. So that does qualify as weird. We have a little bit of news, not a ton, but Jay, if you want to get us some slides or something.
We really honestly, you're right. We don't have a ton, but I'll throw this up here. So really the main thing, we have a couple like waves of toys coming out, and I'll just go over these two from Marusan and then the one big one, which I think could also be in running for Toy of the Year next year because when it releases. But our good buddies at Marusan, wearing the t-shirt, love Marusan. They're the best. And they do have some upcoming releases. First, their August Kaiju pop-up that just happened in Osaka. I think it happened 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Anyway, so these are out live. These are out there now. They released a new 450/89, a translucent green. So this has come out in the 350 line, the line that I collect, but now you can get it in the big 450 line. So awesome stuff there. They released a new 62, which they're trying to release a few more of these. So the 62 and that green glitter. And then they did a Gigan Lucky Bag, which includes a 350 version of the. It's not really, I mean, they're going to call it, I think, the Sakura version because it's the pink and the green, the Sakura mochi type thing, and the glow in the dark, and then the translucent pink, which those two have already been released as 450s. So really cool stuff there. And then a whole host of new exclusive Marugacha, because why the hell not? Including more Destroya. And I've continued to have that conversation with buddy, friend of the podcast, Ryan Wilhelm, that I think like they've been doing so much of the Marugacha Destroya. I'm wondering when we're going to get a big 450 Destroya, and I just feel like that has to happen soon because they've done a ton. Yeah. And they've done some cool colorways. Then down at the Tokyo Hand Shibuya store location, that one retailer in that one location, they had their Summer Wonder Fair, not to be confused with Wonder Fest. This is that one retailer, and Marusan has a big display there. They release a ton of exclusives to this one location, and they're releasing a 450 glitter 89 and a 450 glitter 74. So these are the big 13, 14 inch 450 series, an 89 and a 74. These are both will be coming to Toku Toy Town. If you want them, let me know. And then they're also doing another kind of hodgepodge mix of Megalons and Rodans and Godzilla 95s and Mechagodzillas and Godzilla 71s, all 68, 71, all kind of thrown in there as well. That will be exclusive to this retailer. These are usually really small production runs, even smaller than the pop-up shops. So get them when you can and while you can. They're really cool.
I really, really love the green and gold glittery Mechagodzilla and Godzilla there. Those are those colorways are beautiful. That's such a perfect color combination.
Yep.
It looks like there's some black in
there.
Is, God, those are beautiful.
And the 89 has been released in that colorway as in the 350 series. It was a Godzilla store exclusive, I believe. I think you can still maybe get it through Godzilla store. I might be wrong there, but honestly, as I'm looking at my 83 89s right now, it stands out as one of my favorite ones still to this day. It's really an awesome colorway in person. I think if you wanted like the 62 there, like grab it. It's really cool.
Hey, just a heads up if you're ordering anything through Buy.
Oh, Buy.
Make sure you really want it because they will not give you a refund or cancel your orders. No matter what it is, they just don't do it. So just a heads up, okay? Tried to cancel something. I tried to cancel. I had one of those moments where I was like, fuck, there's two really great things that I want.
Yeah.
And they're better than the thing I have that I just ordered. Let me cancel and get something else. And they were like, nah, dude, you're paying for it. You're getting it. And I was like, all right. So cool. What else, Jay? What else you got?
Yeah, the next one's the big one. Are you ready? Brace for impact. Coming up, lottery. Boom. Medicom, lottery exclusive. SpaceGodzilla. He's going to get a buddy.
Look at his little tail.
I know, right? So Anraku Ansaku, Medicom, they're going SpaceGodzilla. This lottery kicks off on August 25th. I actually think that's the 14th. I might be wrong on that one. So guys, double check my dates. Maybe I'm doing that to make sure less people will sign up for it. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I checked those dates. That might've been a typo. It might've been August 15th.
This seems cheap for this tour.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where the Anraku and Sakus are not expensive if you win the lottery. Like if you are chosen in the lottery, it's the secondhand market. I mean that, and also right now the exchange rate's really good for the dollar. So yeah, I mean, if you win the lottery, you get this bad boy for like $113, right? So that's pretty awesome. But I just think this is going to be a hot ticket. I think this is going to be very similar to the Godzilla skeleton, the final scene 54 that was glow in the dark, where everybody wanted it. It went, like when it went through the lottery, like there was nothing on the secondhand market because like nobody wanted to get rid of it. And then like slowly but surely 6-8 months down the line, it started trickling out there some. I think this was going to be like, I don't know if it's going to have as big of a secondary market presence right out of the gate, because I think people that get this are going to keep it. But then again, they could probably flip it and make a lot of money. So I get it too. I love this. I think this is awesome, and this might be one of my favorite Anraku Ansaku releases ever.
I think Anraku makes perfect toys, and if I could just start over and only collect Anraku figures, I would do it. Like their toys are all I want. I only have the one that you gave me for my birthday. Thank you. But I look at it a lot and I'm like, fuck, I got to get more. I have to get more of these. I'm in love with every sculpt they put out. This is great.
And the cool thing is, and I mean, some people don't like this, but I do.
Well, dude, Jay, those people are wrong.
No, no. Hey, I was one of those people at the beginning. Like it took me a while. I have come around. It took me getting a couple of the 95s, the gold and black one specifically. And then right out of there came the 68 and the 73, and those just wowed me.
The 70, I got to get that 73. I need it.
Well, it's going to be, the second phase is coming out shortly.
There's one coming, right?
Yeah, and it's the same sculpt. It's just instead of the green highlights, it's blue. So yeah, but I love these things, and I think this might be the best of the best. I'm curious to see what happens once this thing goes live and the lottery's over and people get these in hand. And it's supposed to be in January is when they'll get them in hand. So 2025 Toy of the Year, already somebody making some claims.
Yep, it's beautiful. What else?
But that's it, man. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all. Nothing really, super worthy of our time.
Not a ton of stuff.
A lot of good stuff, but just
I like when you say it like that. Nothing else that's worthy. Well, listen, we're gonna do something. We didn't watch anything. It's been a little slow as far as news. We're doing something a little different. We're just gonna show off some weird or silly or just fun toys or Safubi that we have. Jay, you said 5 in your thing. I think I have 8 or 9 here because I figured some would just show them off. Whatever. No, we didn't. We don't. They don't all have to have 20 minutes dedicated to them.
Yeah, not a ranking or anything. Just like really, just we wanted to pick.
Yeah, no ranking.
That like, and we talked about it earlier. Like silliness and zaniness and whimsy are kind of inherent in what we collect. So, yes, X plus Defo reels, plushy squeaky hammers, tricycle Safubi, very weird. Some of the stuff here, it might not be the rarest, it might not be the most sought after expensive, but it's just one that makes me like kind of laugh and like, why do I own that? And it's silly and zany. And that could be the subject matter or the channel and the medium at which they're presenting that subject matter that can make it silly and zany. So I just thought it'd be fun. We haven't sat down and just chatted about some toys we haven't talked about in a long time. So might as well do it.
Yeah, sure. I've probably showed some of these off before, but
me too. Me too, for sure.
I guess we could just get going with it, huh?
Oh yeah, hell, I think I showed off one of these last week, and I'm still.
Do you want to go first, or how you want to do it?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. So this is one that you absolutely won't care about because it fuses Godzilla, which you love, and baseball, which you don't care about. But I do. But so this came out from Bandai in 1994. At that year, there was in his second year in the league was a very talented outfielder known as Hideki Matsui, who made cameos in Gamera. But his nickname, of course, as we all know, was Godzilla. And he came over and, of course, had a great run with the Yankees and A's here in Major League Baseball. But anyway, Bandai released this amazing piece for the Yomiuri Giants, the Tokyo Giants, this Godzilla Hideki Matsui, number 55. There he is.
I like that.
Final figure, kind of that little chibi style, but he has his Giants uniform on. He has his Yomiuri Giants hat on there. And he's just ready. He's ready to go, hit some homers, dude. So I absolutely love this. When I saw this, I probably had this for probably when we started YHS on Monster Island. So I've had it for a couple years. Absolutely adore this. It's one of my favorite pieces. The challenging thing with this guy for me is I don't know whether to keep him in my Godzilla section, which I do right now, or in my sports memorabilia section over there, because there is some overlap there. So
that's the weirdest thing.
I don't know. I know. Well, the funny thing is, so I have this one, and the Yomiuri Giants are kind of, think of like they're the Yankees of Japan, like they're the historically most significant baseball team over there, the ones that might have the largest fan base. And my wonderful, beautiful daughter, she's turning 5, and for her birthday, she had Godzilla theme last year. This year, she wants to do Pokemon. And so I'm ordering from Japan, like instead of like the little knick-knack bags that they give all the kids at the end with like, bubbles and, fruit snacks in there, we like to do one bigger toy or thing for them to take home. And last year we did like, they all got Bandai Ultra Kaiju vinyls.
I remember that. Yeah.
So this year I got all these cool Pokemon plushes from Japan. And in this lot that I got, it was a Pikachu in a Yomiuri Giants jersey. I'm like, well, we're going to have, I'm going to have to keep it for, I don't know, for me, but maybe for her, like have some, connective tissue with dad's collection.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this little guy. Hideki Matsui Godzilla.
That's cool. That's very cool. I'm doing an auto focus thing here. What's happening?
No worries.
All right, cool. Cool. Well, I'm going to show off. So I've probably showed this off in here before too, but these guys, look at these Kaiju toys. I buy these from My Plastic Heart. Little cats in Godzilla costumes. This one's flocked. It's got a little flocked face. The Mothra is not, but look how cute these are. They put these out. They have small ones too, like ones that are like half the size. I got a bunch of those up there. I also have a King Ghidorah on pre-order. So there's a King Ghidorah coming. But yeah, these guys are great. Little cats in Godzilla and Mothra Kaiju costumes. These are beautiful. I think I really love the Mothra. I got about 5 or 6 of small cats in Godzilla costumes, and they're all like different colors or different suits and stuff. But yeah, these are great. These are fun. These bring me joy.
That harkens back to the early days of YHS on Montreal. I felt like you went through a phase where you got those, like almost seemed like every recording you got some new.
Well, they were coming out a lot.
Yeah.
They were coming out a lot, and I was also buying a lot of Nagoras at the time.
Yeah.
Which I also could show off here. Just the cat Kaiju Nagora. If nobody knows what that is, look it up. But they don't. I feel like Nagoras are a little hard to get. They sell out pretty quickly, so you got to be on it for Nagoras. These I think are a little easier to get, but they don't. I feel like I just don't see them that often anymore. I don't know if they're not doing it or if maybe I'm just missing it. But I do have a King Ghidorah like this coming. So I don't know when, but it's on pre-order.
Man, that's pretty intense.
Cool.
Well, the next one I have, I'm going to stay in that kind of cute realm, and I know you have this one as well.
Okay.
And this is from Tomy from 1994, and I got the box for this one too. And this is off of the success of Godzilla and all the cool animated series they did there and all that stuff. This is the really cool Charmy Water. So this is the little game, and here's the actual unit. And we've had these in the US, these types of games as well. But you push the button. This one is not filled up with water. You push the button, and would be filled with water, and you try to get these little charms. In this case, a little Rodan, a little Mechagodzilla, and a little Godzilla, and you try to get them from the Mothra ship, boat, whatever it is, up to the top here to the spaceship. And it's very cool. And you push this, and it just pops them up and stuff in the water. I love this. The Godzilla itself is really cute, but the box art is wonderful. It has the Godzilla characters there, which you can see. There's Godzilla and Rodan and Mothra and Mechagodzilla. And it's just so cool. I love it on the side, the box art on the side. It's like the Rodan Godzilla is with next to the little Rodan charm that's in the water. So this thing is really cool. Once again, 1994, that early 90s when you had Godzilla stuff coming out, you had Lit Goji stuff coming out. It was a good time to be a collector of cute kaiju in those early to mid 90s. So this was been on the tail end of that in 94 with this Tomy release of Godzilla Charmy Water. Yeah.
Yep. I love that thing, man.
Me too.
more stuff like that's. I want more stuff like all of this stuff that we're showing off.
And that's one of those. That's one of the things that like it's you don't have to worry about like where you put that on like a Godzilla shelf. You can put that on a desk. You can put it anywhere because it's just
go anywhere.
so wacky. And not a figure per se, but I love it.
I'm trying to look and see if there's a name on this thing.
I don't know who put this out. I got a couple. I'll do a couple quick ones because these are just nothing we need to. So this is a Godzilla frisbee from White Castle. I don't know how good White Castle did it. It's crazy thinking about this. White Castle did a Godzilla promotion, and there's a couple random things they put out, but the frisbee is the only thing I own. Also, I want to show off this Godzilla '98. What were these called?
Koosh balls. Koosh balls. Yeah.
I don't know if this was just something in the store or if this was I don't know if a restaurant put this out or something, but I have owned this since
awesome, dude.
'98. I have owned this is I was a kid and I bought this and I still have it. So that shows how much I love Godzilla.
Why were Koosh balls a thing?
Hey, I don't know, but you know what I do know?
What?
Here's a Jurassic Park Koosh ball. Fucking Jurassic Park. I think this is from the Lost World. I think it's from part 2.
Hey, whoever was the the marketing manager over at
the little JP on it there.
At Koosh, they had great licensing. Really good stuff there.
They figured it out. Cool. What else you got, Jay?
So the next one is I'll say like it's not the toy itself isn't unusual or weird, but the subject matter is. And I have a couple like this where it's we don't get to see a ton of these out there. And I'll go with the one that's more common. And if you listen to this podcast, you actually probably think this guy's pretty common, but he's not really out there. And this I got from good friend, ambassador of the kaiju fandom, the professor himself, the great David Dobko. I bought this from him, and this is a glow in the dark from Sikaluna Kubo. Death Kappa. Now I love the Kappa.
Oh my God, I want a Death Kappa so bad.
And I love this guy. He just looks gross and dirty, and it's just amazing. The sculpt, Sikaluna does great stuff. They have the old manga Godzilla with the little boy. That's awesome. But this sculpt I think is like so amazing, and I absolutely love this. And you just don't see a ton of Death Kappa stuff out there. And even
weird to. Sorry, it's like weird to me there's even Death Kappa stuff out there at all because that movie's not great and it's weird and it's like, but they're making great toys from a not so great movie.
Yeah, I mean, even when you compare to things like Gilala or Daigoro, like there's a lot less from this. And this, once again, for those that are intense kaiju fans and Sofubi collectors, this is not like a super rare, weird piece. But for the casual kaiju fan or those getting into the genre, the fact they're making amazing Sofubi for Death Kappa is crazy. The other two are even more rare because I did show one of these off before, and the other one I put an asterisk on it because one of these is mine and one of these I'm selling on Toku Toy Town, but they go together as a pair.
Okay,
and I might actually keep this one. But in 1978, there was a tokusatsu show called Great UFO War Red Tiger Fight. And it lasted, I know, right? And there's like 5 episodes that are still that have partially survived. So this is not one that we're going to be getting. Maybe SRS Cinema will find the rest. I don't know. One day. But because Medicom just does things because they can, they decided to, the main character and the main hero, and then the main robot that's also on the heroic side. They decided to make not only Sofubi, but like really good big Sofubi. So here's Red Tiger. This is mine. So he's amazing, and I've showed him off on the show before.
Yeah,
he has this like a vinyl scarf.
I love it.
Helmet. And it's really cool stuff. But the impressive piece that goes with him is his robot buddy, this giant base called Ramburo Giant, and he is huge and amazing. Look how big he is. First off, the best part, he has 3 faces and his head turns, and so he has this head. He's like Triclops of tokusatsu robots from the late 70s, and he's just freaking amazing. But these things, those that know about Red Tiger, you need to get these.
Jay, you
because-
can't sell that.
I know, like it is pretty awesome. But yes, so these guys right here, Red Tiger and Romboro Giant, absolutely adore these, and they're really well done pieces of vinyl. They did a great job. So kudos to you, Medicom. But I thought those were some of the weirder things that I have, or more obscure from like personal collection.
Those are great. Cool. Let's see. What do I got here? All right, here's a weird thing that I got at a store in House of Fun. I think I bought this in New Jersey. And it is a bootleg. It looks a lot like the Trendmasters Godzilla, but I think this is, I mean, it says Godzilla on it. So is it bootleg, or are they just using?
I think they had the license in Canada.
They had the license. It's from Flicks, I guess.
I think so. I think it's legit.
Okay, so it's legit. It looks bootleg, but it's real. And it's a little weird gumball machine with really weird Godzilla art. Yeah. Oh, it's not focusing. Maybe if I move my face. There you go. This is cool. I got this pretty cheap at the House of Fun, and I just thought it was awesome that it was still packaged. Because everybody needs Godzilla gum. I don't like gum. I don't even like gum.
Oh, I like gum, but I actually have that one as well. It's just really out of my reach.
Right you got it too? Yeah.
I love that one. No, it's so colorful, and it's a fun design. I have it near my like Trendmasters like handheld game.
I have that too, and I almost pulled that out, but I was like, I don't think that's as weird. Everybody had these when we were growing up.
Everyone had the Tiger Electronics game.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I'm also going to show off. These are a little newer to me, but I love them so much. One of my favorite new pieces that I have are, and I got two of them here, are these Lady Milk.
Oh yes,
these little so awesome. Lady Milk Godzillas, where he's got a boom box here, a little purse and a dress and a polka dot and a hat. These are so great. I love these so much, and I want to get a whole. I wish they were bigger, but I just want all of these. I want to get all these. These are great. So, but they're weird, and I just wanted to show that off. Love it.
Yeah, weird and amazing. Cool. Yeah, those are pretty cool. I'll do something that's kind of newer as well, because I showed him off last week. But I think the whole Black Seed and what those guys are doing over there with Godzilla, and I showed off last week. I showed off the Rider Nothra, the Batra Kamen Rider combo.
Oh
and I showed off, and I have
I almost went back and bought this after you showed it off.
Yeah. Well, the one I think that is just so cool, even cooler than that one, is just, and I think this also has a play for figure of the year this year and Kaiju Toy of the year. I mean, and that is, I think the Gojiji Izakaya right here from Black Sea with the Godzilla as a sushi chef. I think it is just a stunner. Down to the human maki rolls, and to the shoes and everything about it. And I think I'll use him as kind of the representation for that whole line. You can get the RoboCop Mecha Godzilla.
It's my favorite. This is my favorite thing they put out. I've bought some of those in the past, and I got one for Jess. I gave her one of my older ones, and then I kind of felt, I was like, I'm not really gonna keep buying these, but that piece is a, like, you don't need anything else in the line if you're gonna buy it. Like, that is the piece.
And it's bigger. Yeah. And it's bigger than the other ones. It's about 4 inches, 3 or 4 inches taller than the other ones. So it's a standout piece. But it is like, it's one of those, like, since I've had it up in the room here and had it displayed, when we've had people come over, it's the really, I have a lot of stuff in here, and it's the first thing that people look at. They're like, is Godzilla, does he have sushi? What is that? So yeah, it's a really cool piece.
Cool. Okay. Let's see. I got this. Okay. This is another one of my childhood, Trendmaster days Godzilla things. I got the Gigapet, dude.
Oh, no way.
I don't know if you got the Godzilla Gigapet.
Don't. No.
It says Godzilla on it. Open it up. It's got the little, like, the badge photo, and then got little footprints on it, got the buttons. Dude, this thing's cool. I've had this like most of my life, and it's just lived with me. I need to put some batteries in it and see if it still works, but these were like a big deal. Gigapets were such a big deal, and the fact that there were Godzilla ones, I love it. So
and I love the the really in your face logo, the badge there, the colors and everything.
Yeah,
it's just awesome.
yeah.
It's awesome.
And I also love that it's weird that so I don't know if you can see what it says. It's just officially licensed Godzilla product. It's like it
What a
needs you to
tagline.
know. There we go. It needs you to know that this is real.
It should be like King of the Monsters, but it's no officially licensed Godzilla product. Store near you. That's a really cool one though. It's funny. When I was actually looking up to see if I could reach the bubblegum thing that you had, I actually saw something I wanted to share. It's weird because now this is something truly, if you're out there and you spend more than like $2 on it, you're overpaying for it. It is not something that's rare, but it's just it's so dumb. I love bootlegs. We all love bootlegs and how just terrible they are. Here's one of my favorite Mexican Godzilla bootlegs because of the paint job on the face. And I've seen a few people have this out there, but I love this guy. Look at that face. That is a face only a Godzilla fan could love.
Have eyebrows?
Oh yeah, it's black eyebrows and a red nose. And this is factory put. Like, this is not. Variant. I know this is not added on after. These are not aftermarket effects. But yeah, and it just feels. I mean, it just feels like a not great.
Let me see the back. He's got like red on. Has he got like kind of a red stripe on his? There's
a light kind of brown red tint.
Okay, yeah.
They cared here. They wanted.
That's
to put
pretty
some
good.
Shadow.
Yeah, that's actually good looking.
And then hello. It's like this and then hello. I mean, it's.
I've never seen that, but if I come across it, I'm buying it.
Oh yeah, I really think I paid like $3 for it. So I had to put that. And this was not on the plans, but I was like, we're talking about just ridiculous things. This is one of them.
I love it. Cool.
What else you got?
Cool. So these I've also shut off pretty recently, but they're one of my favorite things that I've owned. I love these so much, Jay. These Godzilla Land flocked Godzilla and King Ghidorah in this weird little pink, like looking kind of like Big Bird.
Yeah.
Pink flocking with some of the packaging here, and then the green Godzilla. These are amongst my favorite. I really love Godzilla Land. I wish there was more stuff I could find for it. It's a little hard getting, and I want the rest of there's more flock stuff. These come in different colors. There's a Mothra. I'm not sure how many kaiju there are flocked, but I know that there's at least a Mothra, and I know there's other colors for these.
Those are amazing.
Love them so much.
Yeah, that's one of we talked about it when you showed them off the first time, like that and Lit Goji and those other lines. Like, there's just not a great resource to track all this. I mean, there was so much stuff that like you just keep finding. You just keep finding new stuff. And I'm going to go ahead, since you just mentioned, I'm going to go ahead and show off some Lit Goji stuff because I brought a little bit out. I brought out. That's one of my favorites.
The Space Godzilla mug, which I have, and look. His tail is on the back. I have found that they did make these mugs with other kaiju. There's not just like the Space Godzilla. Awesome. But I feel like probably a lot of people have seen, the Lit Goji. I only brought these two out, but I have a good number of these guys. They're like little banks, but they're cool. Yeah. Cool figures. And then the only other thing for Lit Goji that I brought out because I thought it was cool is the pins. Just a bunch of Mothra larvae, Space Godzilla, Rodan, just this display of pins. I just think it's very cool. All the Lit Goji stuff, all the Godzilla Land stuff, I want all of it. It's all so great. I love the designs. It's my favorite stuff. The weird little cute things, it's my favorite stuff.
Yeah, the Lit Goji stuff, I feel like I don't want to say it's easier to get than the Godzilla Land stuff. But it is.
It's more.
It's still hard to get.
You can get on eBay right now, and there's a good bit of the Lit Goji stuff, but it's like the common stuff. There's always some banks around. There's a bunch of the the smaller size, the ones with the eggs.
Yeah, the 3-inch ones. Yeah.
I don't have many of the smaller ones, but you see them a lot on eBay, and I just haven't picked those up yet.
And on Toku Toy Town.
But I've been focusing on trying to get more of the bigger ones first.
Yeah,
but
the 5-inch.
But there's even you can go over to Monster Island Buddies, and he's got a couple really good videos about Lit Goji and Godzilla Land, and he will tell you like you think you might have all the Lit Goji stuff, and then something weird pops up, and you're like, well, what the fuck is that? Or a kaiju will pop up that was never like in the show or in any of the art, but they still made a toy for it or something.
Yeah.
So there's
Well,
stuff out there now.
even the keychains, there's a lot of different variants. So I know this because like I loaded up on some Lit Goji stuff before G Fest because I knew a lot of people would want to get like a $5 keychain, you know, and I thought Lit Goji would be a cool thing to get, right? Yeah. And so I got a lot of them, and there's a lot of the keychains, some with rings, some with like the not the badges, like the lanyards, and they're actually a little bit different sizes too. So even though they look the same, some of the keychains are like the ones with the classic like circular keychain were a little bit bigger than the ones that were on the lanyard. And I just thought they all were the same. And then there were some that have the keychains with the leather backing. And so it's crazy. They did a lot of merch. And the pins are amazing. And they and I actually have I sold a Godzilla eraser pin. So it was not a pin, it was a pin that you push and it's just an eraser.
Right. And the eraser.
And they have a lot of wacky stuff like that. And it's never ending, seemingly never ending.
Yeah, dude. I mean, look, there's even, is this Godzilla? Is this oh, this is Godzilla. This one, you sent me this. It was snuck in. It's snuck in with the Lit Goji, but it's actually a Godzilla Land pin. Yeah,
I got one of those as well.
There's all kinds of stuff. Jay, I only have one more thing, so you want to go ahead and do what do you got?
I have three. One little one, and then I think my two favorite are the coolest. I think were the most unique, but this one is not. But I think this is personally really cool. But it would definitely fall in that classification as a small. And this is this really cool vintage top, as in a spinning top. Yeah, that was probably an amusement game prize back in the early 70s. And this is a vintage one featuring one of my favorite Ultraman monsters, Teleston. And it's just really cool. And it's a really cool, like it's a heavy, but it's unbranded. It's probably totally done unofficially, which I know a lot of the Subaraya stuff, people just printed that stuff and sold it.
Yeah.
And this was, one of those old vintage Japanese amusement game carnival prizes that you probably got. And I actually still have the original string with it. Smells like the early 70s. And like you just spin it and it's amazing. But I think this is like a cool little vintage. I love vintage stuff. And some of the vintage stuff is just so expensive and stuff. But this is a nice, affordable little top. So I love this one.
Very cool. Love that thing, dude.
And another one that I have. So I have my two final ones. This one I absolutely love because it is one of my favorite monster designs. It's hyping up something that we both love. You are a super collector of, but the medium of VHS. It's a store display. It checks a lot of boxes, right? So it's this from Marusan, this amazing VHS release from 2003 VHS release of Gilala. And his little VHS display stand here, including with the spaceship, the Gamma, whatever it is, on a little metal pole there to simulate it's flying or blasting off. And then it has the VHS, the actual VHS. And then this is just your Marusan sculpt, your classic Gilala Marusan sculpt that comes with it. Fits right there. And Gilala's not everybody's cup of tea, not everybody's favorite. He's not the most famous monster. So there's some unique, should be. There's some uniqueness there, but the fact that it's a 2003 VHS in-store display for the release of The X from Outer Space, I don't know. I love it.
I love it. Let me ask you a couple questions about this.
Yeah.
Now, this Gilala, did the figure come with it, or was it you just bought the figure? Okay. So, second question.
Yes.
Is that colorway exclusive to that set, or is it the same? Could you just buy that figure by itself as well?
It's exclusive. Yeah, there was there's a couple from this line. There was a glow in the dark version. There's a transparent one that is like a transparent green that was I want to say it was a mail away exclusive.
Yeah.
But you do see this one a lot on the secondary market without the stand.
Okay.
So, but yeah, this came with.
I'm gonna need that. I'm gonna need one of those.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, Marusan does a great one. Their original, like their old, the balloon blower Gilala, where you put the balloons on. Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
But this one is a really great sculpt. Kind of a traditional colorway, if you will, for Gilala. And it's amazing.
Very cool.
It's one of my favorites.
Love that. That's definitely worthy of this list. And
then
any
I can
list, really.
I know, right? And I can do my final one, and then you can close it out.
Okay.
So this is one if I shared this with the on the show, it would have been like episode 1 or 2. I've had this for a while. Yeah.
All right.
And it's not going to really translate very well visually, but I'll do my best. So a lot of people know I worked at Dr. Pepper for a long time in digital marketing over there. And I love Dr. Pepper. I'm from Texas. You got to like Dr. Pepper. I also love Godzilla. And we all know Godzilla, or Dr. Pepper had a big advertising campaign with Godzilla for the 1985, the American release of Godzilla in 1984. And I have some original film from the commercials, the Godzilla commercials here. Well, that's the blank part of the film. But I would have to unwind this whole thing. But these are actually, it's real film here. This will just be blank. You won't be able to see anything there, but it's in here. But it's
Trust us.
I promise it is. But it's the Godzilla. It's the Godzilla commercials. The actual what is this? Not 35 millimeter. Whatever the film. I don't know anything about films in that regard. But it's actually, you could go put this on a reel right now and play it. Maybe I should do that at Kaiju Go. I didn't even think about
Jay. That would be awesome.
I mean, they have an old school projector there.
Yeah, you should 100% see if that's possible.
That would be amazing. Play it before the movie. Oh yes.
Yeah. Play it in between movies or something.
In between movies, yeah.
Jay, also, since you're pointing that out, I just want to point out, if anybody can see behind you, there is this old vintage Dr. Pepper
bumper sticker. Yeah,
which is beautiful. Godzilla drinking some Dr. Pepper. You got framed up. That is beautiful.
The other piece that I don't have, so like when I think of the tie-ins with Dr. Pepper, there was 3 things that I wanted. I wanted the film if I could find it, and I was able to snag it. I also wanted the bumper sticker, and then I want the skateboard. There is a Dr. Pepper Godzilla skateboard that they released, and one did go on eBay, like I don't know, a year or so ago, and I was like really tempted. But it got really expensive, not because it was a skateboard, a Godzilla skateboard, but because it was signed by Tony Hawk. I was like, I don't want the Tony Hawk signature. I just want the Godzilla skateboard, man. But it went for like $1,000 or something. But
dude,
but and I think would be just really cool to display.
I'm like searching. I'm searching Godzilla Dr. Pepper right now.
Yeah, it only pops up once in a blue moon, but
that's amazing.
That is one of my favorite things, the spool of the actual commercial film, and then of course the bumper sticker. This one actually, the guy that sold me this worked at the Dr. Pepper Museum in Waco, Texas, which is about 90 minutes south of here. So occasionally at antique stores and flea markets and some local dealers and stuff,
some stuff.
You'll get a lot of like anything that tied into Dr. Pepper, you have a chance to get some memorabilia. Probably like you guys in Coke out in Atlanta.
Well, I mean, you see Dr. Pepper stuff here too. I think like all of those antique stores, I see a lot of Dr. Pepper stuff, a lot of Coke stuff, and a lot of Vernors. Even though they don't make Vernors here, but you still see a lot of that in the antique store. So that's cool. Yeah, I'd love that. That's stuff, dude.
Those are some of my favorite things. I
got one more. Yeah, dude. All amazing things. Fun episode idea. I got one more thing, and I'm not sure if I'm not sure if we were doing this show when I got this. So maybe I showed it off or something. I don't know. But probably the weirdest thing in my collection, one of my favorite things, I'm trying to be careful because he's fragile, is, the wonderful Cookiezilla. I had to show this guy off. What a weird... Why? I don't know. Why does this exist?
The Grover tail's the best part.
He's got the Grover tail. I'm trying to hide my face Grover tail, Shin Cookiezilla, Bottleneck Gallery. Was it Bottleneck? Yeah. Put this out. And it's a beautiful toy, man. I know when these came out, people had there were a lot of issues with them showing up broken or breaking easily. So much that they did a new version and did some replacements. Mine's fine. Nothing broke on it. It's in good condition, but because of that, I try to be really careful with it. I think the spines are probably fragile, but like how fucking weird, man. Cookie Monster's
it's bizarre.
Face. It's super bizarre, but I love this.
Though. It works, and And I mean, this thing has gone up. I mean, it'll cost a pretty penny for somebody to buy one now.
Yeah.
It is crazy because, to your point, like, they're fragile. Some just kind of fell by the wayside. And then, of course, and it's very sad, but unfortunately the original sculptor passed away.
Right.
And I know they've done some other things that are kind of in the same vein with other monsters and other kaiju, but
they did. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, this guy reigns supreme. It doesn't beat this one right here is just the best.
Yeah, they did really recently another Cookiezilla, but with like Big Bird Mothra behind him, and I wanted to get that one as well, but it was a time where I was like, no, we're not buying this today. But this is awesome, dude. I had to get it. It's the weirdest Godzilla thing I own. Like, 'cause still, I have no idea why this exists. I don't know. I don't know if there was some joke that I missed, or if the artist just thought this was funny and just did it. I do not know where this idea came from, but a pretty big company said, "Fuck it, let's make that."
And Shin Godzilla is the best part.
It's shit, and hey, even if you ignore the Cookiezilla part, the Cookie Monster part, this is a good Godzilla sculpt. Yeah. This is a very nice pose. This is a very well sculpted thing. I love it. So I had to pull it out.
You know, if it's one thing if like you put like Cookie Monster's face on like Godzilla 73 or something, that's one thing. But no, they went with Shin, and and it is that I think is what makes it so great is that they're two of the more opposite. You know, Cookie Monster and Shin Godzilla, and then like you take this beautiful, detailed, grotesque, just crazy sculpt, like you are making a Shin Godzilla gigantic X plus masterpiece, and then you add the whimsy of, you know what, 98% of this will be that, and then I'm gonna add a Cookie Monster head and a Grover face on the tail.
Yep.
Boom. And it is just, it'll go down as one of the craziest pieces in Godzilla toydom.
I agree. It's wild. And hey, with that, we did it. We showed off some weird, fun, silly stuff that maybe a lot of people don't know is out there. Some of you maybe have this. I want to know what everybody else is like weird.
Yeah.
If anybody's watching or listening and you have some Godzilla stuff that you think is weird or funny and we didn't talk about it, send it to one of us, because I want to see.
Because we want to buy it.
We want to buy your weird shit. If you got any, hey, if Godzilla buddies, monster buddies, if you're watching, dude, you have so much Godzilla Land stuff, and I think it's probably had its time in your collection. Let it move on to me.
Yeah,
sell me some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Jay, you got anything else?
No, I'm going to go watch the Steve Harvey show.
Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey. Toy Anxiety. Yes, Have Some Podcast. Craig and Abby are on there. And our good friend Jay Glatfelter of Geek Dad Life is on Judge Steve Harvey fighting over Ghostbuster toys. One of the funniest things I've watched in a while. It's really great. It's the season finale. It's the middle. They knew it was the best episode they filmed of the year. So yeah, go check it out. Check us out. Check out Kaiju Go. I think we'll be back one more episode before Kaiju Go and before everything else. But other than that, I guess we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.